Welcome to dbForge Studio for SQL Server tutorials. In this video, we will show you the easiest way to export and import table data on Azure SQL. For example, let's export data from the SQL sample database to an empty SQL copy database. As we can see, the SQL database tables contain data, while the SQL copy tables don't. So first, we open the Data Export wizard and select the required data format on the Export Format page. In our case, it is CSV. On the next page, we specify the connection, the database, the schema, and the source tables. Now we go to the Output Settings page, where we can select to either export data into individual files for each table, or export all data into a single file. Let's select Export Data into separate files. We'll also add timestamps to the file names. Next comes the Options page, where we can select to Use Unicode, show the table header, force quote strings. Here we can also specify the character for quoting. And finally, we can define the field separator. It can be a tab, a space, a comma, or a custom character. Now we proceed to the Data Formats page with two tabs. The first one is Columns. Here we can select columns for export and verify their aliases and data types. The second one is Formats. Here we can change the default format settings for date time, currency, float, integer, boolean, and null string. Plus, we can set a binary encoding by selecting it from the drop-down list. The next page is Exported Rows. Here we can select to export all rows, export the rows selected on the Data Formats page, or export a specified range of rows. The Errors Handling page allows specifying the error processing behavior. The options are: prompt the user for an action, ignore all errors, abort at the first error, and optionally, we can select to write reports to a log file. We click Export, and it's done in a matter of moments. Let's click Open Result folder. We can see the CSV files with exported data. Now we can import that data into the SQL copy database with our wizard. On the source file page, we select the CSV import format, specify the path and the source file name. Then, on the destination page, we select the connection, the database, and the target schema. We can import data into a new table or into an existing table. In our case, it's an existing table named Actor. Next, we proceed to the Options page with the following settings. Encoding. We check if it's correct. If it isn't, we can select another one from the drop-down list. Quote string. We can specify the character to be used for string quoting. Skip lines. We can define the quantity of lines to be skipped during import. Note that the lines are counted from the top. Header position. We can specify the required number for the header position. It will be highlighted in blue in the preview section. If we don't specify the header position, the imported columns will get default names, column 1, column 2, and so on. Field separator. We can either keep the auto-defined checkbox selected or clear it and select one of the following options: tab, space, comma, or specify a custom character. Next comes the Data Formats page with two auxiliary tabs. The first one is called Common Formats. Here we can specify the formats for null strings, thousand and decimal separators, Boolean variables, date and time. There is also a checkbox Auto-Detect Date and Time Format, selected by default. The second tab is Column Settings. Here we can configure format settings for separate columns. We have four options here: null string, left quote, right quote, and date and time. If we don't specify the format mask, the app will identify date-time values automatically. Now we are on the Mapping page. Here we can map the source columns to the target columns and preview the results. Note that during import into an existing table, only columns with the same names will be mapped. Then we proceed to the Modes page and select one of the 5 available import modes. Append, which adds records to the target table. Update, which updates records in the target table with matching records from the source table. Append Update, which updates only those records that exist in the target table. The records that don't exist in the target table are appended. Delete, which removes records from the target table if they match records from the source table. And Repopulate, which deletes all data from the target table and repopulates it with the data from the source. Pay attention to the additional options. Use a single transaction and use bulk insert. The latter option can speed up the import, but the error handling mechanism may be affected. In our case, we select the append mode. Next, we have the output page with 3 options. Open the data import script in the internal editor. Save the data import script to a file. Note that we need to specify the path and the file name here. Import data directly to the database. We choose import data directly to the database. Finally, the errors handling page with the same 3 options that we saw during our export. Prompt the user for an action. Ignore all errors. Abort at the first error. We can also opt to write reports to a log file. Let's click Import, and the process has been successfully completed. Now we'll make sure that the data has been imported correctly by querying the actor table in the SQL copy database. Yes, as we can see, the data has been imported successfully. This is how you can make your data import and export operations fast, easy, and flexible with dbForge Studio for SQL Server. Ready to try it all yourself? Then do not hesitate to get a free 30-day trial of dbForge Studio for SQL Server. Just download it from our official website and check it in action. Like if you've enjoyed the video, share your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to our channel to get the latest database tutorials. Thank you for watching.